Hello, gang. I'm doing my movie review on the movie Skyline, which opened up this weekend. And there's some things about it that, well, let me just get to the summary of the movie first. Here's a little bit of a summary. Strange lights descend on the city of Los Angeles, drawing people outside like moths to a flame, where an extraterrestrial force threatens to swallow the entire human population off the face of the earth. Um, Part of my problem with this movie, and I kind of liked it a little bit, but not a much. Um, but part of my problem with this movie is that it copied other movies. You know, I see a little bit of Independence Day in it, the movie Independence Day. I see a little bit of the Tom Cruise War of the Worlds movie that came out some years back, and I see elements of those two movies in this movie. I see some elements there, um, and I'm not going to give away too much. I don't want to give away too much because I know that some of you want to see it. I wouldn't recommend it. Um, you should go see Unstoppable instead. I think that's a better movie. Um, and but like it copies other movies. It's one of those alien invading movies. It's kind of like, well, like Independence Day. There was a part in the movie, or point in the movie where there's all these American fighter jets going to attack the mothership. That's hovering over the city. Well, when that part showed up, the first thing that came in my mind was Independence Day. We all remember that classic um, moment in Independence Day where all these F-15s and F-16s and stealth bombers and everything go over there and attack the mothership. Well, that's kind of like what happened in that went on in this movie too. That happened, and I thought it was silly and ridiculous. I mean, they even tried to destroy it with a nuclear missile, and they did that in Independence Day. Um, Another thing where it's like War of the Worlds, the Tom Cruise movie. It copies, well, like for instance, there were in that movie with Tom Cruise, War of the Worlds. There was a part where he was down in the basement, and he and this little girl were hiding down there while these alien arm things came in with the eyes, looking around, looking for people. Well, in this movie Skyline, there was an incident like that, where you have two people hiding behind a kitchen counter, like in a high-rise building. I think it's an apartment or hotel or whatever, condo, I don't know what. But there was this alien ship or being comes through the window, and it has these arm things going around like this with eyes on it, looking around the corners and stuff. And if you remember that War of the Worlds movie with Tom Cruise, it was the exact same thing. Um, and these things that flew around with all the arms, they kind of reminded me of the Sentinels and the Matrix. This movie definitely copied other movies, the entertainment, the value of it, the action scenes were fun. But overall, this movie, some of that was fun, but overall, the movie really, I think, blew. I mean, Yahoo is giving it a C, C minus, and so it's not. And on Rotten Tomatoes, it got a 10%. So yeah, basically, this movie just isn't going over very well. I'm a big fan of science fiction. I'm a big fan of uh, space movies and stuff like that. Science fiction. But this movie, even for a science fiction lover like me, it just didn't do anything for me. I mean, well, some of it did. I mean, like I said, the action scenes and all that was some of that was fun. But overall, this movie is nothing more than just a really expensive made B movie. That's what it is. And another movie that it copied from it, I saw the movie Legion. I don't know if you have, but in the movie Legion, and I never got around to do a review on that movie, but I've seen it. In that movie Legion, there's that point where everybody's all cooped up inside that diner, and staying inside because they feel safe. They're just, all talking and trying to figure out what they're gonna do and how they're gonna get out of it. And while there's chaos outside, well, that in this movie Skyline, you got all these people that are cooped up inside a high-rise apartment or hotel building or whatever. So yeah, the movie just I just saw too much of other movies in it, and one of the things I like about a movie is originality, which this did not have because it copied from other movies, and and there was even cheesy characters in this movie. I mean, the guy Oliver, the big fat guy with a goatee, who seemed like a tough guy. I mean, there was a scene in the movie where he does a suicidal killing on one of these alien things that come inside the room with these arms and stuff, and he turns on the gas, on the stove, and then takes a cigarette and puts it in his mouth. It gets ready to light up and try to destroy that thing like some kind of macho guy, But eventually he does it. But I was laughing at that part. I mean, I was laughing. Here's a guy trying to act macho. It doesn't even look like a macho character. I mean, I mean, that just kind of, the movie just blew. I mean, this looked like a sci-fi channel movie. That's what it reminded me of. One of those kind of B movies. I think it would have fared well on television rather than the big screen. And if you're going to see any of the latest movies, I would recommend Unstoppable. That is another movie I saw, and I think it's a much better movie. I believe it's a much better movie. So, and also another thing about Skyline, I didn't like the ending. I thought the ending was, I couldn't understand why the movie ended the way it did. I'm not going to give it away. I mean, you'll probably want to see it. I wouldn't recommend it, but if you want to see it, I'm not going to give. I know I've given some things away already, but the very ending of the movie I won't give away. But let's just say I was disappointed the way it ended. And there's a lot of people that have reviewed this movie, seen this movie, that just couldn't understand why it had such a stupid ending. I mean, as soon as the movie was over, I saw people in the theater going like this. And then they got up and grabbed their popcorn and drink and left, after the movie ended. So I just think that this wasn't a very good movie. It could have been better, but it's just one of those sci-fi movies that sink. So I'm gonna do a review. My next review will be Unstoppable, another movie I've seen recently. So everybody, take care, and until the next review. All right, take care.